How we doing, guys? All right, so I got another special guest tonight. Everyone knows him as, Chuck Liddels' coach, but he's also got his own gym down in San Luis Obispo called The Pit. It's world-renowned. So, John Hackleman. John, how you doing, buddy?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So, first off, John, I kind of wanted to start a little bit about, your background and, how you got into martial arts, competing and coaching.
Well, I got into martial arts when I was 10 years old back in Honolulu, Hawaii, because I didn't want to get picked on or beat up by local kids who didn't like the little white kids. They call them howlies.
Yeah.
Usually fucking howlie. I started training really young, and I just happened to hook up with an instructor through the Yellow Pages. You guys remember what that is?
Oh, yeah. I remember those.
Yeah, it doesn't happen anymore. But so I hooked up with him in the Yellow Pages, caught the bus down there, started training with him, and he happened to be a really mean guy. He was very good to me, but he was a very mean person, in and out of prison, a lot of violence. So like I said, he was really good to me. He told me it was it was an experience from the time I was 10, and can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So he was my mentor. I was 10 years old, little blonde kid, and he taught me how to fight and how not to take any shit. And if some local kid picked on me, how to beat the living shit out of him, and I stayed with him, and then I started saying, I looked for other ways to compete or fight. So I started boxing, then I started kickboxing, and I did a couple no-holds-barred fights. And then I became a pro, and then I moved to LA, and then I went to college and became a registered nurse and kept my career going for a while. Towards the end of my career, I started training people, and one of those people turned into Chuck Liddels, and so then I became known as a trainer more than a fighter. And I started training some other people, and then I opened a gym, and now we have a gym, and I do fight training as a hobby, and life is good.
Yeah, not a lot of people know that about you. I remember hearing that on the Joe Rogan podcast that you were an emergency room nurse, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that, and then you told a story about how what was it when it wasn't Chuck's knockout that wanted him to retire? It was a cut, correct?
It was both, but it was the cut on his lip that he got with
Franklin, right?
And it was just a very ugly, could have been disfiguring cut, and we went to the ER, and I wanted a plastic surgeon to do it, and they have socialized medicine in Canada, and that's where it was.
Yeah.
I was really worried, so I just raised hell, and they brought in a plastic surgeon, and seemed to heal okay, but that really scared me, and just seeing him in that position made me realize that it was time to call it a day, and he felt that too, and we had a little meeting up on our mountain. I don't know if you guys heard of Madonna or not.
Yeah.
But we decided to decide on Madonna because we didn't want to make it just a knee-jerk reaction. So we waited a couple weeks. We went on a hike up Madonna, and we decided it was time to call it a day.
So, with coaching, what has that experience been like for you compared to being a fighter yourself?
It's a lot more nerve-wracking and a lot less nerve-wracking at the same time. Certain things make me more nervous now and more stressed. It's definitely physically a shit ton easier.
Yeah.
Mentally, it's about the same. But like I said, physically it's a lot easier. I mean, when I hear trainers say, "Oh yeah, we can go out one more. Let's go one more round. We can do it." I always think we, and it's like, I know. If you ever hear me say that, somebody punch me.
Yeah, right.
But, I mean, you do put a lot of emotion into your fighters. I do.
Yeah.
I put a lot of time, energy, caring, and emotion. But at the end of the day, they're the ones getting punched in the fucking face.
True that. Now, in terms of coaching, obviously, you've been known because you were Chuck Liddels' coach, but you've also worked with numerous other fighters in the UFC. What was the experience like working with the different fighters? Like, was there some you favored working with more than others, or was it all the same for you?
No, it's a lot. It's really different. I mean, I care about most of them. Some I just work with here and there, and that so I don't have as much invested. But people like Chuck, Glover, Court McGee, my new crop coming up now. I mean, I put a lot of time and energy into those guys. So it's emotional when they fight. I get I'm committed to them and I'm invested in them. So when they get hit, I get hit.
Yeah. Yeah, Glover, I know you were known for as well.
What?
Oh, I was saying Glover, I know you were known for as well.
Yeah, and so when someone gets hurt, it hurts me.
Yeah.
Them more physically, and I think me more emotionally, because I remember getting hurt in fights, and I didn't get as emotional. I just fucking hurt.
Yeah.
Now as a trainer and someone that cares for my guys, I get actually emotionally invested when they get hurt. So, I mean, I don't know. It's different, but it's still keeping my foot in the my hand in the martial arts. So.
Yeah, and I think any good coach, becomes emotionally invested. I mean, I feel like if you want to be a good coach, you have to, because there's so much more to it than just teaching how to throw a punch or a kick. There's so much about fighting that the mental aspect.
Yeah, and a lot are. Some aren't as much as others. Some guys, I like see their guy come back to the corner, and it's like, wait a second, do you even care about your guy?
Yeah.
Or I see them getting the shit beat out of them, and they're like in the corner, and nobody's throwing in a towel. It's like, they don't seem like they care about him at all. But
well, that brings me to my next question. I don't know if you saw the Raquel Pennington fight against. Yeah. What were your thoughts on that?
I think emotions. Like I said, I'm known for being the first guy to throw in a towel. I mean, everybody knows me for that. But to be honest, I don't know if I would have this one, and I don't know if I wouldn't have done the same thing that her coaches did. I mean, because to me, a cut is terrible.
Yeah.
And hurting your leg is terrible, and she has a hurt leg and a broken nose.
Yeah.
But those things, to me, aren't enough to stop a fight. I mean, they just aren't. You know? To me, it's more of, real, brain injuries. Like, if my guy got knocked down, I could tell he had concussion, the fucking towel's going in.
Yeah.
My guy has a joint that's injured really bad that might affect him for the rest of his life. Boom, towel's going in. But with a sore leg, a bruised leg, and a broken nose, and then a cut, I wasn't there. But if I was there and it was just what I think it was, and it could have been more, I would have said, get back out there. For the main reason being, if she quit in the corner, you got to live with that the rest of your life. And then if you have severe injury, yeah, you got to live with that too. But then what if she went out and she could have won? I mean, what if you could have stopped it, but then what if she went out and won in the last round?
Yeah.
She didn't, because you would have stopped it. So, I mean, it depends on so many different things. And from what I saw, I would have let it go. But I wasn't there, and there could have been more to the story where she had a minor concussion or something, and it should have been stopped. And then I would have said yes. But from what I saw, I don't disagree with her corner. And I have had guys, I probably had like 20 guys where they said, I want to go back. Oh, I can fight. And I said, no, fight's over. And they've complained and, tried to put up an argument.
Yeah.
But I stopped it anyway. But I've also had a couple of guys that came back and, like, one guy got hit in the body. Okay, shit hurts. But he wanted to quit. And I made him go back out. And I had a guy that had a hurt wrist. So I had him go back out. I don't like the fact that everybody's just dogging all over the corner. Oh, they should be fined, and they shouldn't be a corner anymore, and this and that. And that's a knee-jerk reaction, and people don't know what the fuck they're talking about half the time.
Yeah.
Nobody knows the true story. So I wasn't there, but I have had people who come back and said, oh, I can't go out anymore. And I told them, no, you go back out. And I'm doing it for them, not for me.
Yeah.
It makes me look better to stop it in the corner. But then when they're 50 years old and they don't remember many their individual fights, they're going to remember certain things, and they'll always remember, I quit in the corner.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, and especially the point where all the people talking online, because 80% of the people, have no experience with fighting or coaching and don't know what the hell they're talking about. So
yeah, it's easy to say that as an armchair quarterback, but like I said, even she said no, they did the right thing.
Yeah,
her fiance, who's a pro fighter, said that they did the right thing. So,
yeah.
who the fuck is anybody out there on a keyboard to say that they're wrong?
True. Hey, now, I want to ask you your thoughts on where the sport is at from compared when Chuck was in his prime to now. What are your thoughts on that?
A lot different, but nothing I can put my finger on. It just has a different feel to it. The fighters have progressed a lot, evolved, and there's a lot more UFCs, so it's a lot more it's a much more accepted sport.
I feel like the athletes have evolved a lot as well.
The what?
The athletes, like there's more because the sport's blown up. You're getting more and more, genuine, real athletes. Not saying the guys weren't real athletes before, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's why I said evolved. When I said evolved, everybody's evolved. So there's a lot different to watch now. As much as I love Damian Maia, it's like I wish he had evolved more because he's like one of these. He's a jiu-jitsu guy mainly, and that's what he was known for. But then he got really good at takedowns.
Yeah.
He worked on his wrestling a lot, but it seems like he's kind of slacked on his striking.
Yeah, last night was not a great performance.
No, it wasn't. That's why. And then, I don't think it was at all. So, and I think one of the reasons is because he's so good at takedowns, and Usman was so good at a lot of other things. That's not just two great guys. They're both great. But I think those great guys nullified each other, so it just wasn't as good a fight as it could have been. But I don't think that's taken away from either one of them. The only thing I would say is if Damian had been working on her striking more, and that seemed like out of all the things, like Usman's grappling was great, his jiu-jitsu was great, his takedowns were great, his striking is great, and then Maia's takedowns are great, and his jiu-jitsu is phenomenal, but his striking isn't. So that was the only thing missing, and conditioning. It looked like his conditioning wasn't up to par either.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I think compared to past fights, it looked like he spent all that energy shooting and then trying to pull guard, and just how it is for a fighter. At least my experience, when you put all that energy into takedowns or then trying to pull guard and you just don't get anywhere, it's like so mentally defeating.
Yeah, but I think even more than for that fight, I think it was because it was physically defeating for him. And,
Yeah.
and to be honest, I mean, he sometimes he doesn't have that explosive stamina, and I think he's lacked that in the past. And I think that certain fighters or certain groups of fighters, they rely too much on their drilling and their sparring and their rolling, and they think that's conditioning for some reason.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's not. And you can't rely on that for conditioning. You can fight your way into shape. Like in the old days, we used to fight like every other week.
Yep.
We didn't have to train quite as hard because we're fighting all the time. You can fight your way into shape, but you can't spar or grapple your way into shape.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Let me switch gears, just because we usually on this channel talk about, boxing gloves, reviewing them, MMA gear. Is there a favorite pair of gloves that you liked using in your day or that you think is the best one? What's that?
They don't have them anymore. Las Dos MA.
Which one?
Las Dos MA. Double M.
I don't know if I've heard of that one before.
They were in my era, and they were my favorite. It was like Reyes. They had Reyes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was like Reyes. It came around the same time as Reyes, and they were made in Mexico. And that was my favorite. Boxing gloves, headgear, and cups. But the cups back then were usually the bigger cups, like the boxing cup.
Yeah.
They were kind of awkward to use, but I tried to use them for some of my other training, but they never worked as well. So I went to regular like athletic cups. But it's called Double M.
Okay. I'll check that out. Now,
Check them out.
a couple more questions. Just two more here. The pit. Talk to me about how that came to be, and now, because, in San Luis Obispo, everybody knows who the pit is. Me and you have a mutual friend, her daughter, her son goes to the pit. So it's really popular. How did that come to be and blow up? Was it because of the Chuck phenomenon? How do you think that came to be?
I think, it got pretty big before Chuck. It got like cultish big in L.A. I started in L.A. Nothing like it is now, but it was cultish. Like we could wear pit shirts and go to a local nightclub, and everybody knew us, and they would let us in.
Oh, cool.
Cultish. That was when I was younger, and then I brought it out here, and it started in my backyard, and it got cultish again. The guys like Chuck heard about it, and other people, and then so it's kind of just a closed door kind of thing in my backyard. And it was 800 square foot gym. I have 3 acres, so it's a big backyard. But then a pediatrician friend of mine suggested that I try it mainstream. I don't think I would ever work mainstream, so I said no. But then my lawyer, the reason I have a lawyer is because I was working for the state and the prison, and shit always hit the fan there. He wasn't like my lawyer on retainer, but it was a lawyer that I became friends with that helped me in a certain case, and he was my friend as well. And he was like, "Man, you should quit nursing and become a full-time martial arts instructor." And he talked me into it, and I was like, "No. I need benefits. I need medical. I need retirement." And he was like, "Bro, if you're your own business, you own your own business. You could have your own retirement, your own medical." He talked me into it, and I did it. And I was going to give it a shot. Once you're a nurse, you can always go back.
Yeah.
And I just as soon as I started, I realized that was what I was going to do. I think the Chuck thing is a double-edged sword. It's helped me and it's hurt me. I honestly think if it wasn't for Chuck, we wouldn't be so popular. But if it wasn't for Chuck, a lot more people would come in the door and they wouldn't be intimidated.
Yeah.
And their kids are there. So I think if it wasn't for Chuck, I would still have a name because the pit and I'm a pretty top-rate martial artist. I think we would still be. I think our gym would have more students, but we wouldn't be as popular.
You know, it's funny. I used to I worked in sales at the first ever UFC gym in Concord in the East Bay. And, you know, the same kind of issue they ran into. It's not as bad anymore, but, you know, people, you know, women and especially young kids were scared to come in there because they thought that that's what it was, you know, is that everyone beats each other up type deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Usually the soccer moms and shit, Chuck was really good for me, and we're best friends. Oh, we're not really friends. We're family, and you know, I'm much more well known because of him, and the Pitt brand is too. But
yeah,
it would have been a big brand either way, and it probably would have more students, but it wouldn't be as popular around the country or the world.
Okay, so let me end it with this. I have to ask you because of Chuck signing with Golden Boy MMA. What are your thoughts on, you know, the rumors of Chuck and Tito 3?
I'm not crazy about it. It's not, I wouldn't definitely. I didn't want him fighting in the first place, so he was. You know, all my guys were just training with me. Nobody was supposed to be a fighter. Then all of a sudden, he wanted to try fighting, so he did, and you know, next thing you know, it's Chuck. But I don't want him to fight again. But if he does, I'm behind him 100%, and I'll back him all the way. And if he needs anything from me, I'll definitely be there for him.
Right on. Well, here I'm going to end it on the video here, and hold on, stay on the line, John. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions, comments, feel free to throw them in the comment box. We'd love to hear from you. And yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you.